Hey guys, welcome to Luke Trades trading channel. This is my first video. My name is Luke and I decided I will be documenting my trading journey. So quick few words for the beginning. I started trading from my own reasons, which is, as most of people, just to have some more financial freedom and free myself from the daily grind. At the same time, I have a day job or business, which is like a job plus a couple extra hours. And I just thought that I would love to see if that's possible for me to replace that income with a trading income. I don't know if that can happen, but I thought, why not trying? So this is my third month of trading. The first 2 months I was pretty much losing money, mainly due to the fact that I was using a Ocean One securities with a DAS trader, which just costs a little too much for the beginning trader. So this month, which is January, around the end of January, I switched to Webull. And I am, by the way, trading from Australia and I'm trading US markets. So it's not as easy to find a good commission-free broker in Australia, as in you can't trade as a US resident, which for those there are definitely much more brokerages to choose from, but for internationals it's not as easy. So I just chose Webull because, to be honest, it was one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, in Australia, but it's still not commission free, so just something you know if you're an international trader. But anyway, so the first 2 months I was trading with DAS Trader, and it's $130 per month just for the software, plus pretty high commissions. So I had $1,000 there, and that ran out after around third month, which is around now. And I decided to look for something else because it was just, there was no point to paying for learning. Anyway, I'm going to share some of my whole month and some of my lessons on the way, and basically want to keep it real and first of all document my own journey and hopefully maybe even help someone, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are beginners like me, and they're wondering whether they can do it or not. So you might as well learn from my mistakes, because I'm definitely making quite a few, but also you might be inspired a bit if I succeed, which I don't know yet, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm just gonna share some of my trades today with you, but before that I'll tell you a little bit about my month. So like I said, I started trading 3 months ago, so this was my third month. I didn't really document the first 2 months, so I did, but it's a little bit messy, and from January I started to properly journal and document my trades. And this is my whole month. I'm down $289 for the month, but $200 out of that is really to pay for the software. I'm using some scanners. But at the same time, I had one huge loss on a 28th. And that loss put me down. It could have been $60 winning day, but few things went wrong. But I'm really glad that happened, and I will explain that later. There's a pretty good lesson in here. But anyway, let me start from the beginning. So I had this plan that I will start trading with a really small positions. So I started with 10 shares per trade. So maximum 10 shares per trade that I decided I'm going to take at the beginning. And once I would have 3 green days, no matter how big or small, I was going to double the shares. So that was, first month I barely went to 20, really, because I was constantly losing. Every time I got a red day, I was moving back 2 days. So it kind of gamifying the whole thing a little bit. And then as I go, I build new rules. While I'm learning the strategy and trying to understand it, I didn't want it to, start with 100 shares, because with those positions, you can already lose substantial amount of money. So with 10 shares, first month, I barely got to 20, maybe 40. Second month, I was between, going back between 10 and 80. And eventually in January, as you can see here, my max shares was on 2nd January was 80 shares. And Here I was trying to be really cautious, just take small wins. This is very small win for an 80 share, but I took it no matter how small green of a day. I was happy with it. 5th of January, I kept trading with 80 shares, took 2 trades, 2 winners, very, very small winners, but still, happy with it. And then on the 6th, with 3 trades and 160 shares, I was pretty much feeling nervous for the first time in such a big position. And I won $18. So after that day, I felt really confident. And for a moment, I thought that I know what I'm doing. How wrong was I? Because on the 7th of Jan, things went wrong. And you can tell straight away because I had 17 trades that day. I do not want to take 17 trades a day. My goal is to take between 1 and 3 trades a day, especially for now, for the beginning phase. So I really don't want to go any further. So if I taken 17 shares, that means something went really wrong. And it did. I lost with the first trade. And then I revenge traded and, kind of got back to green, then go back to red, then go deeper in red. And around minus $56 later, I decided, okay, that's it. So next day, same story. I lost the first trade and then revenge trading, but I did a little bit of progress because I took 17 shares yesterday, and on the 8th, I took 13 shares. So I stopped myself a little bit earlier, which to me, it was a big success back then, And then Friday, 9th of January, the same story. I went down to 20 shares. So I lost $20 anyway with 20 shares, which is not good. But at least I stopped myself after 7 trades, all right? And here I decided, okay, I gotta start from the scratch and go back to 10 shares and really, really slowly build my confidence back, because it's very, very important. After a few green days, you feel much more confident, and that reflects on your trades. And having 3 red days in a row is very bad. So now I understand that was a big lesson. So therefore I just lower my shares back to 10 and decided no matter how small or big green day, I'm just taking 1, maybe 2 trades, and that's it. And I just want to build my confidence back that I can trust the strategy. By the way, those losses, they were not because I did what I supposed to do, but they happened because I didn't follow my rules. I broke my own rules, that I didn't really traded my strategy, and that's reflected in the outcome. So I started from scratch, 10 shares on the 12th. Small trade, 10 cents per share, more or less 12 in this case. I was happy with it. $1.20 commission. That was still on a dust trader, by the way, so commissions were probably higher, but I was fine with it. And I said, okay, that's it. Next day, I decided to up it to 20. And again, just over 10 cents per share. Very nice. One trade. I was like, all right, that's good. I have 2 green days. I'm going to stop for now. Next day, I decided to take 2 trades and I made $4.30. Next day, again, 2 trades with 80 shares. I make $7.70. So I started feeling like, okay, I think if I stick to my rules, this strategy is working. I think if I really don't break any of my own rules, then I can progress, right? Next day, it didn't went too well, but still I managed to, I think I had one first trade was a winner. I had like maybe $8, and then the second trade didn't work out and took me back. But still, I had some control here. I didn't want it to lose more in a second trade than I win in the first one. So I finished the day in green, which was great. Next, Martin Luther King birthday, so I didn't trade it. And then on the 20th, few things went wrong. I went back to 160 shares, feeling like, okay, it's time to go back. And even though I won, I have taken too many trades. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I should not have taken 7 trades a day. That's too much. But anyway, I was happy because the day ended up in green. And then 21st, that was kind of a big messy day, because I started with minus $50, which $50 loss. So I started the day $50 in red, and by making a mistake and not sticking to my rules. Actually, exactly what happened here is I entered too early. I didn't get waited for confirmation. I got too excited. I jumped in and the trade wasn't confirmed and reversed. So I just got smoked, 50 bucks starting point. But I could feel that this is a very hot market, and it was pretty hot day here. So I decided I'm going to be very, very careful, stick to my rules and carry on. And luckily, I did stick to my rules and I could manage to go back to plus $1. And as soon as I got to plus $1, I was like, all right, the day is in green. I stuck to my rules. I think I had 2 losses here out of 10 trades, but the second loss was kind of control loss. So just that first trade of the day that I really messed up and entered too early, that was the big mistake. And the same thing happened the next day. First trade, I just got too excited. I entered too early and the trade wasn't confirmed. It smoked me. I was like minus $40 after a first trade. But again, I could see that the market is hot and I decided, okay, I'm going to take it very carefully. And I not only got it back, but I went 20 bucks up. So that's great. And then on the 23rd, I didn't want to make the same mistake for the third time. I just took one trade. It was perfect entry. I got over around 13 cents or 14 cents per share. And I was happy with it. I thought, you know what, let's just finish the second week in green. So that gave me 2 weeks in green, and this was incredible. Not because of the money, or I don't really care at this stage about how much I win or lose. I do, but it's not as important as sticking to my rules. And those 2 weeks of green told me that I'm doing something right. I could see that I'm making mistakes, but I can fix them. And I was much more confident. I was like, okay, the strategy is working. So all I have to do is make sure I am disciplined enough and I can really stick to it, right? So I was, by the way, away at that time. So I wasn't working at home. I was traveling. And 26th of January, I got pretty big, one of the biggest day for me, 35 bucks, with 160 share, very good trades, 3 trades out of 3, so that means 3 winners, which is amazing. And yeah, market was pretty hot, so I could see that those trades that I took, I could have hold them longer and make bigger gains. But to be honest, at this stage, I just want to be green, and I just want to prove my strategy and prove to myself that I can be disciplined. And then 27th was the best day for me ever. I was actually 84 bucks on plus here, and I could only trade with 100 shares. I switched, by the way. This was the first day that I switched, I think, to Webull. So I stopped trading with Das Trader and I switched to Webull, and I just didn't have much money here, so I couldn't afford more shares for this stock. So I just traded with 100 shares, and I was 84 bucks up at some point after 4 trades. I was 84 bucks up, and I was ecstatic. I was very, very happy. Every single trade I took was a perfect entry, and pretty good exits. And deliberately, I thought to myself, I gotta take one more trade, very, very controlled trade. If I lose, at least I can walk away with the controlled loss. So far, every time I lost, I was trying to get it back. But this time I was like, I have to lose because I need to prove to myself that I can lose and walk away. So I found a setup. It was pretty hot market, so there was lots of going on. But I found a setup that was a little bit risky, but controlled. I took a smaller position here, so if I lose, I'm not gonna lose everything. Trade confirmed. It looked really good. I thought I'm going to win, but it very quickly reversed. So there was like a short spike, very short squeeze, and then rejection right after that, even though it was confirmed within my criteria. But it's okay, because even though I lost 20 bucks on that last trade, I was happy because I could walk away and I could tell myself, all right, this is how I should do it. I should trade until I lose. And if I lose, that loss should be within within my control, right? So that's what happened here. And I was really, really excited on the 27th and thought to myself, I think I'm starting to understand what I'm doing. Everything was great. I went back home here. So that was the first day back home after a while. And I was very excited here. That's why this happened. I was very excited, and I was also excited because I could train on a big screen now. And I jumped in. First stock that's starting to squeeze, I enter prematurely. And I was like, oh no. I don't know how this happened. I had my fingers above the keyboard, and somehow they pushed the hotkeys, and the trade and was filled with 200 shares. So the biggest positions I've ever taken. Early entry, I messed up big time. And as soon as I did that, the price rejected, and I found myself around $70 down. And here is why I'm happy this happened. Okay, even though it was pretty big loss, I should not lose that much. But after that, I got emotional and I started revenge trading. So I thought, oh no, I have to get it back. And I got it back to $60 plus with one trade. But after that, I kept trading, and emotionally compromised trading is not a good idea. And I just went back to red and then deeper in red, and I was $150 in red after 6 trades. As you can see, none of those trades worked, and there's a reason for it. I have pretty high accuracy if you look before, but suddenly I have 1 out of 7. That means that something's not right. I was very, very emotionally compromised. First excited, then just revenge trading took over. I took the last trade, I lost $100 on it, and I was like, you know what, this is very bad. But at least I can learn from it. So why I think it's a good thing that this happened? Well, obviously it's not good to lose money, and I'm not happy I lost money, but I'm happy I made that mistake so early. Because if I was trading with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 shares, that would be $5,000 down or $2,000 down. I'm glad that I learned that now, and I can define, okay, if I lose X amount of money, I step away no matter what. It's very difficult. I'm sure I'll make that mistake again, but at least now I have a little bit of a PTSD after this day, and I'm pretty much angry with myself that this happened, because that should not happen. I had my rules. I should have lost maximum $100 on that day, and if I did, it would be fine. But I didn't stop. So now I understand that this is one of the most difficult parts of trading. When you're emotionally compromised or too excited, you should not trade. You should step away. I should step away. Maybe you can control it, but I cannot. So to me, that day was, I paid the price for that lesson. It was pretty expensive lessons, but it wasn't the most expensive lesson. I could have get somehow to 1,000 shares and then make that mistake. That lesson would hurt much more, or 2,000, right? Anyway, next day I understood that this is about building my confidence back slowly and steadily. So I went back to 120 shares this time and took one trade. It was pretty good. I got almost $20. So that was not less than around 16, 17 cents that I won here. And then I decided to take one more trade, which was very, very controlled. And I'm glad I did. Even though I lost here, I was aiming for a loss that's half of that. So from 20, my max loss on that trade was around $5, but the trade was rejected very, very hard, and it just plummeted. So as soon as I closed my position, the trade was, I was just squeezed, and my slippage was so high that I lost twice of more than I thought. But that also taught me that I need to be protecting my capital, and that's what I did, and I didn't calculate it very well, because I think I entered that last trade with 20 shares or 30 shares or something like that. Something pretty small compared to 120, which was my max for the day. But I took it with 30 shares because I knew that if it doesn't work, I do not want to be in red no matter what. I do not want to have 2 red days in a row. And I didn't. So it's great. It's fine that it didn't work. It was controlled loss. A little bit bigger than I thought, but still it's okay. And today, or last night, because I'm trading from Australia, so I trade late nights, I took just one trade, 150 shares, very nice squeeze. I think I got 33 or 34 cents per share. Beautiful trade. I was very happy with it, and I decided, you know what, this is it for today. 48 bucks. Week ago or 2 weeks ago, I couldn't even dream of it. So I'm gonna close the day, close the month for today. And you know, that loss was hurtful, and it took me to minus $89. If it didn't happen, I would be in green. That's minus 289 because of the software that I'm paying 200 bucks for a month. So that's why I'm 300 bucks on a month down. But I feel more confident than ever. I feel that the strategy is actually profitable if I stick to it. And I feel that I have hope that the next month will be much better. Now, of course, there are things I cannot control. You know, market can be cold for a whole month and there might be no good setups, and that's fine. You know, no trade dates are fine as well. It's something I need to learn, but it's more about confidence. So what I want to do in February is again start from around 100 to 150 shares and go slowly and take 1, maybe 2 trades per day, but keep it green just to build that confidence back after this loss. This loss didn't hurt that much because I knew that it happened because I didn't stick to my rules. It didn't happen because I did exactly what I what I said I'll do. I'm not that mad because of it. It's just something you have to accept, and it could happen with 20 shares or 50 shares, but it also could happen with 2,000 shares. So I'm glad it happened here, and I'll just take it as a lesson. Now let me show you my Webull account. It's a little bit not exactly what I like. After switching from Dust Trader, I gotta admit Webull is not as good. But you know, again, it's free, and there are some things that I like about it. I'll make another video and talk about it a little bit more. But for now, I'm just gonna show you my one trade from Friday morning. So because I trade in Australia, 8 p.m. for me is when pre-market opens, so that's 4 a.m. And that's why I usually trade early pre-market till, you know, sometimes till 8. I very rarely stay trading till 9:30. I never trade after opening bell. It's just too late. It's 1:30 a.m. I'm usually so tired, and really staying up till midnight for me is a struggle because also I have a, you know, day job. So, you know, trading in the evenings, you know, makes your day pretty exhausting. But anyway, it's the day, I don't know, it's just the Webull that has got, and I'll do another video about it, but has got some, you know, pretty annoying features. Like, it doesn't show you your P&L for the day, at least this version. I'm using Mac version. That's why I switched, because I don't really have a good laptop, Windows laptop. I use Mac for work, and you know, that app is working on Mac. Maybe the Windows version is better, I don't know, but it doesn't show me daily P&L. And when I go to my app on my phone, it does show me daily P&L, although it shows me in Australian dollars, so there's no way to switch it. So a little annoying. I have to calculate it every day, but that's okay. I'm just gonna show you my trade now. So I traded a first stock that started squeezing at 4 a.m., right? So FATBB, and first thing it does, it just pumps up from $2 to $3. So a huge green candle. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. Another one after that, and I was like, all right, let me just see what it does. You know, let's see if it sustain. You know, if it stays around here, and what's gonna happen. And the next candle went up to 386, but it created this shooting star. So to me, that was a warning sign. I was worrying here that this might not be it. But I thought, you know what, I'll give it a moment. And it started going down and down, a couple red candles, and here it where it bottomed. Here is where it bottomed. Now, this was the moment when I was watching very, very carefully because I wanted to see if it can hold that level and if it can squeeze and either give us a double top or maybe even squeeze through that double top. Now, that was pretty early, 4 a.m. Usually those trades have very low volume from my experience. So, you know, I didn't count for another high, but I was kind of hoping for a double top, right? So as soon as, where did I enter? I entered around 4:15:47. So 4:15, and what was the fill? No, sorry, the fill was where's the average price? 310. Okay, so 4:15, so around here, right? So I was aiming to enter around here, right? And now, and here is when I have a little bit issues with Weeble. It started squeezing really fast, and I entered around here, I think, around 295 or something like that. But I got a pretty big slippage because my order was filled around 310. So it didn't happen with DAS before. It was much faster. You know, I could even see it was like a second before my order was filled, which is a lot when stock like that is squeezing. But nevertheless, I was like, all right, that's what it is, and I'm just gonna wait. So the stock first pulled up here, then pushed back a little bit to 304. I was like, oh, will it work? And then it moved all the way up to 340, and that is, I think, 7. Yeah, so that is where I exited. Right at the end of this green candle, 344. So pretty much good. I saw 30 plus cents, and I was like, you know what, this is good. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna wait for another one. And that was a really good call because right after that, it pushed a little bit more to 360, but right after that, it rejected pretty strongly and just went down and down. And you know, that was it. I was happy with that trade. It gave me 40, it actually was $50 plus, but commission, you know, so I ended up with around $48, and that's what I needed. 30 cents for me per share. It's a big win. Usually I aim for 15, 20, you know, sometimes even 10 if I'm not sure about the stock. But you know, and this time I wasn't sure as well. It just squeezed really rapidly from that 290 to, you know, 350. But yeah, but that's it. It's the one trade I've taken. I'm really excited to go into February and, you know, start being more cautious and making some progress. I'll be documenting it. I'll try to post every single day after the trade, sometimes with a bit of a delay because I'm working through the day, and when I end my trading day, it's usually like midnight or 1 a.m. So I don't have strength to film the videos right after that, but you know, the next day will be probably good. Anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope it helped. I hope you relate. I mean, again, like, this is probably for, you know, I don't know if that's going to be helpful to anyone. The primarily reason I'm doing it is just to document my own journey, and but also, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people who are starting out, and I'm sure, you know, they're looking for some information, and it's very difficult to find it when it comes to trading. There's so much noise, and you don't know whether it's even working. You don't know if it's if you can listen to anyone. So I thought, you know, why not be completely transparent and real, and first of all, you know, do it for myself, just to document things. And then if someone can relate to that, if someone can take any lessons from my own mistakes, from my own you know, even good or bad trades, then that's great. That would be amazing. If you have any questions, you know, let me know. If you want to share your trade or your story, just leave that down in a comment. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Cheers.